Yeah, I mean, what type of partner would I be if I asked my girl to give up on her dream for mine? And a lot of people do, but I think for me, my biggest dream was seeing her living out her dream.
Yeah.
You know? Like seeing her being turned up.
Are you ready? We're gonna run the play. Let's go. Do you know what it's like to come from nothing at all, but every day you just wanting it all? Do you know what it's like? Every day facing your fear, but believing that your blessing is near. Do you know what it's like? Growing up broker than most, but still being devoted the most. Do you know what it's like? Yeah, that's what the journey's about. Yeah, let me show you.
What's up, y'all? This is Justin Owens. I'm your host. This is the Run the Play show where I help break down the top plays of success from top leaders, entrepreneurs, and personalities by sharing gems from their personal playbook. And today's guest is a graduate from Morehouse College. He's my boy. But Chief Strategy Officer for Steve Harvey Global, Executive Producer of Family Feud Ghana and South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, my brother, Thabiti Stephens. How you feeling, man?
You know, pleasure to be here, man.
I'm saying I'm grateful that you came. You know, listen, now I gotta say something because I didn't go to college. You know, so we was talking to Thabiti and he was like, "Man, you got to go to HBCU homecoming."
For sure, most definitely.
Yeah, my man took us out, and it changed my mind. I was like, "Listen, I see why people go in debt for college." You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm like, "Yo, this was a vibe." I was like, "I might just sign up next semester." But obviously, HBCUs are big for you and important. What made you go the route of going to a HBCU over any college you could have went to?
So honestly, man. So I'm from Atlanta, born and raised, right? So I've always seen Morehouse, and they have programs, camps, and things like that for inner city kids. So I've always went, and for me, I always thought like I was gonna go D1, sports, athletes. Then reality hits, and then it's still like I'm still.
What sport?
I played baseball, basketball, and football. Yeah, man,
okay.
Everything, man. Athletic, real athletic. But I always wanted to go, D1 to a big school, and the reality of it was like just the reality of my circumstances, right? So my father, he used to make like $250,000, and during a recession, he started making $25,000. So as you can imagine, like our livelihoods extremely changed. So from the age of 16, I was like, I bet like I gotta go get a scholarship because I gotta go to school for free, all right?
Yeah.
So did really well on my tests, get scholarships to a lot of schools. So the reason I went to Morehouse, realistically, was just it was the scholarship.
Yeah,
it was a scholarship,
that's real.
and then on my tour, Spelman being 100% females, Clark being 75% females. I'm pretty good at math. That was also something that really contributed to it. But then, I mean, honestly, man, Morehouse College is one of the top historically black colleges, but colleges in general. Yeah. Right, and it was kind of just the prestige. A lot of black people on Wall Street. The majority of them, I would say, probably come from HBCUs. Yeah. Right, or Morehouse at least.
I know we was out. You was literally pointing out people like that. She's a lawyer. He's a doctor. They do this. And I'm like, they're on Wall Street. I'm like, dang, it was nice to see not only, people doing well, but especially people of color. You're like, okay, they're on a high level.
Yeah, man.
They're peers.
Yeah, man. And the thing I love about HBCUs is like everyone who has a similar story or something, right? It's an inner city kid or a kid whose parents had a little privilege and worked hard to become middle class and senior here and never wants to do greater for themselves. But the thing I really love is like I really grew up in like this is 4 years of growing with people. So yes, I know people who are congressmen. Yes, I know people who are attorneys. And these are people I've really seen like chug mad beers, getting in bar fights. I've seen them at everyone at their ugly duckling stage, right?
Facts.
So for me, it's just like a beautiful community, a beautiful situation, and then like me personally being going to Morehouse and having such a strong community. A lot of these boardrooms and meetings that I'm in, I'll see another person typically looking like me, and after the conversation about, oh yeah, I'm Morehouse 84, I'm like, what, really? Morehouse 14, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's a bond because like they always gonna try to look out because they know exactly what you've been through, whether it's going to the West End or going to a party or struggling with accounting, like it's all the same story. So yeah, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
I was about to ask you. So knowing what you know now, you would still go back and do college all over. What? Because like, in the sense, like you're like, I mean, entrepreneurship. Sometimes people feel like, okay, I don't got to go to college. What? So for people that do want to be entrepreneurs, and you're like, yo, I would still do it over. What were some things that you can't get not going to college? You would feel.
So I was actually an entrepreneur before I went to college, right? So I had a shoe company. I was manufacturing, producing my own shoes, and what I'll say is. The one reason I wouldn't trade Morehouse for the world because that was the only time in my life where for 4 years I'm around everyone creme de la creme, right? So everyone is the top person in their class. you go around 400, 500 people who think exactly like you.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So the amount of information and knowledge and systems that were shared in that time were great to my matriculation. I'm learning from people who look like me and are preparing me for what it's like to really be a black man in the real world. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Morehouse had things like etiquette classes, right? Like I took a class where they taught us how to dress when going to a corporate job. They taught us how to eat at the table, how to eat from the outside in. If we're sitting at a table with a leader, how do you handle that? What's the proper amount of drinks to order? Like little things that I guarantee majority of people in their homes don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What is the proper amount of drinks to eat?
It's like two. Like,
two.
I mean, it's two really, and then we supposed to
kind of follow their lead a little bit, or
yeah. I mean, you know, some people drink heavier than others, but they say it's supposed to be 2 drinks. And then after that, it's just, you know, chill, and you should probably get out of there after a few hours being political. You know.
Yeah, that's good.
You don't want to get too.
Yeah.
But I'll say it really like my level of knowledge and the amount of people that I meet, right? So when I had my company, for example, the guy who designed my website, I met him in Morehouse. He's now doing like stuff for the government, like Secret Service on the coding side.
Wow.
Yeah, the guy who designed my shoes, I mean, that's be hard, but you know, that's still my bro. Like he's doing stuff in TV, international business now. My other partner who I had in the company, he's an attorney now and like entrepreneur, and it's just like these are people who you really just waiting in line behind.
Wow.
You know, so I mean, it's just a skill set, and it's just an experience, man. Like these are 4 years of your life where you're really meeting people who really gonna go out and change the world.
Yeah, because not only you get an education, but you get in a relationship that you really that part to me is probably one of the most important things.
The networks, bro.
Yeah, the network.
Because you can learn a lot of stuff on the internet for sure, but it's nothing like having. It's the pipeline, bro. Like it's nothing like having someone who sold bonds or. Did private equity on Wall Street, actually teaching your class who's retired, right? Like you're really getting this, and I'm in a small class of 14 to 15 people. The difference I'll say between Morehouse specifically, or a lot of HBCUs, we're smaller classes, right? So all my teachers know my first name. A lot of people out here go to college, they're in a class of 200 people. The teacher don't know you from your homework. They're literally just grading your work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm really in a place where people care about me, and then my professors having a shoe company actually put me in a position to win. So they'll put me at all the conferences. They're sending me to the White House for initiatives there. Yeah. So now it's like, you know, it's really just a platform. But
yeah, I love it. So let's talk about this, because like now, you know, you run business internationally. You have your own companies doing different things. You've got a solid grasp on financial literacy and business tactics in general. Where did that come from? Because it's like, okay, you go from having a shoe company to like financial literacy, business mogul. Like where does that come from?
Like I just think it comes from like being in Atlanta, bro. Like I've always wanted more. I've always been a person, like I'll go to my parents' friend's house, and if I see that they had something, I probably didn't want it because I was like, oh, this is attainable. Like I've always wanted a life that was unattainable. Yeah. Now I'll come over and I'll be like, man, this is nice. Like this is amazing. Okay, no to this, never hate it. Just was never envious. Like, all right. But if I saw too many people doing it, like, yeah, I don't want that. I don't want to live in certain areas. My fiance gets mad at me now because she's like, why don't you want to live here? I was like, because I've seen too many people I know living here. This is too normal. Did I really do what I was supposed to do in this world if this is where I'm at? Yeah, I feel that. And then it's just, I've always, like, looked up to mobsters, bro. Like, if I can really do anything, I'll be a gangster. But
for real?
Yeah, but I don't want to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? So the closest thing to being a gangster is really just being a business person.
Yeah, being a boss.
And I decided that probably when I was like 10 or 12. And I was always that dude. And I'm pretty sure like you, like I was started off, first thing I think I ever started selling, like we used to put Kool-Aid in bags, like buy the Kool-Aid, mix it with the sugar, sell those.
I was selling candy.
Elevated from that to candy. Then elevated from that to candy, chips, and juices. Then, you know, started a grass cutting business. I was just always fascinated. I always wanted money, right? Yeah. And then we had this program called Junior Achievement, and then there was also this program called like Operation Hope. Shout out to John Hope, John Hope Bryant. And basically, they came in our schools because I went to grading in Emmett, like public schools. They came in our schools and really taught us about business plans and building our businesses. And I was like, wow. And honestly, the real kick for me, I met these 3 dudes. It was these 3 guys came to my class, and like that's why I say like, influence is everything. Like you need to be able to see things. You need to expand your thinking, because these 3 dudes came to my class. They had this caffeinated energy drink called Wanate. Wanate was coffee mixed with, I don't know, Red Bull or something. Who knows, right? But it wasn't the fact that it was a good product. It was nasty, but it was the fact that like I had seen that drink in the store that I stopped at all the time for breakfast sandwiches like weeks before.
Yeah.
So when they came to my class and let me know it was attainable. So that was the first time me physically seeing somebody that was in a position I wanted to be on Wall Street. I mean, not on Wall Street, but a CEO of a company with like a product in the store.
Yeah.
I used to always think it had to be an old white dude. So for these young white guys to do it, they're still white.
Yeah, facts.
But that's why it's important to see people like have positive representation.
Yeah.
But they still inspired me to go after it.
It's almost like an example. You said, okay, man. It's almost like what you're saying. Like, yo, they can do that. Oh, yo, I can definitely wrap this up. They ain't no. It's not. Now it's just about figuring out how resources, relationships, like, but it's attainable.
Exactly, and then that was the next thing I did after I found out that like you can do that. So my father had a dog store on Edgewood over by where Thumbs Up is on Edgewood, right? And this had to be 2007. And at the time, I would just be there every day after school. But in that time, in that community, I credit all those entrepreneurs who were there. I did an internship at the art shop next door, where I learned like art depreciation. I did an internship at the consignment shop next door, where I learned how to sell and discount clothes and manage e-commerce. I did an internship at the bakery across the street, where I learned like food loss and waste and the importance of like marketing your business versus everyone else. And I did an internship at a law shop, the attorney's office, Terry Jackson. He's still over there now. He was like an injury attorney. I did an internship there and learned the importance about like organization and actually like got to read my first real contracts.
Wow.
So that's why I really accredit to like that community there, like in that Edgewood Atlanta community. That's like each one teach one. Positive reputation is important. It's because like without them, I don't know what I would really be.
Yeah, I'm glad you're saying that too, because I'm taking a couple of things from this. Because number one, a lot of times people see what you're doing today, it's like, okay, he's basically like Steve Harvey, one of Steve Harvey's right hand men. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, how does that happen? But it's like, yo, let's go back. You know, you got not only that, but you said it's like internships. Like, unless I'm mistaken, internships don't pay.
No.
But what I'm catching from you is each one of those places you learned something from it. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's some people I meet and the only thing they can take away from it is like, oh man, I had this doggone internship. I wasn't getting paid no money. But you're like, no, I went here. I learned understand contracts. I learned here. I understand how to market and sell. I learned, and so it's like, what I think is important is while you're in your process, to make sure you're picking up the lessons along the way, because all that stuff added up together can change your life. It can be a formula for it.
I can't agree anymore.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, like, life is just a math game. It's an addition and subtraction of multiple good days and multiple bad days. So if you have 10 good days in a row, you done had a week and a half of good days. If you have 30 good days in a row, you done had a good month. If you had 29 good days and 2 bad days, you still had a good month. So for me, it's always about adding. I just want to get 1% better every day.
Yeah.
1% better. If I can get 1% better, whether it's something I pick up from you, going all in. Like, I'm picking up from you is, my boy goes all in. Like, why am I half in anything? Go all in. If I could pick up that, if I could pick up how I can learn something for anybody. It might not be someone at your level sometimes, right? It might be someone who I learned something from the lady at the nail shop that I don't ever want to accomplish. But I look at it, it's like,
it's real though.
And you can learn what not to do.
Yeah.
But as long as you're learning something, like, I just add one thing every day. So for me, it was just basically like, all right, cool. I know this art guy doesn't, none of these businesses, maybe except for the attorney, is probably making the type of money I would ever want to make. However, they're asking me, do I want to work? They're letting me chill here, and I'm bored.
Yeah.
But they're letting me chill here, and they're teaching me. And now whenever I see these people or go out now, they're like, man, Thabiti, I've always knew you'll be successful. I'm like, I'm happy you did, because I was just trying to learn one more step to, I thought I was going to be a shoe millionaire. You know?
Yeah. And so I'm going to ask you a question, but I want to, because I'm sure you've been asked this question a lot, but I want to ask a specific way, because, you know, a lot of times people are like, okay, how did the relationship between you and Steve Harvey work and grow into where, like, you have the position you have today? So I'm going to ask that, but more so really what I want to ask is, how do you go from, like, all right, I'm a guy in college, to having the ear of somebody that's senior to you? Because not everybody may be working with a Steve Harvey or have a mentor like that, but how do I go from, like, all right, I'm young, and then now how can I become the right-hand man or woman, or have that person's ear? Like, how does that process develop?
So it's a story. That's why I had to drink some water. So I told you I went to Morehouse College. The main thing about college is network. You go to college is to prove to people that you can set your mind to a task and complete it in 4 years. Okay. That's really what they're looking for, and it's to network. While in college, ended up meeting Broderick Harvey. He's the guy who actually designed my first pair of shoes. But we met on a non-transactional relationship, just like, you cool, I'm cool. Let me see what you're doing. Oh, and let me help you out, right? It was no contracts, no nothing. So that's my best friend now, right?
Yeah.
And Broderick's father has a nonprofit camp, and this is just a story to, you never know who's watching you.
Right.
And it's so important to always be 100. So Broderick goes to the camp. He's like, oh, we're going to ride ATVs, play basketball. I'm like, all right, cool. Shoot, like, whatever. Go to the camp. We're having fun. And his sister was the executive director at the camp at the time. His sister hit him up, was like, hey, I need you to do whatever. Go move some stuff. So he left. I was like, he's like, you can keep playing. I'm like, nah, dog, I'm about to come help you. One, so we can start having fun again. But two, like, I'm not about to just be out here chilling while you're working. So worked with him. We ended up working for 2 days. Did such a good job working. His sister invited me back the next year for because I paid for myself to come the first time. She invited me back the next year and was like, hey, I want to pay you to come help do the same job that you did last year at the camp.
So you got invited to the camp, paid to go to the camp.
I paid to go the first time just because I was hanging out with my friend.
Yeah.
The second time I got invited back.
Dope.
But they paid me to come back.
Dope.
Right? But I was going anyway because the Steve Harvey mentorship camp is a camp for fatherless young boys. He does it on Father's Day weekend. He brings out 250 fatherless boys and their mothers, and they each do different camps to help with different types of matriculation. We have psychologists, financial literacy people. We do, beauty makeover and stuff for the mom.
Yeah.
And then the guys were just introducing them to positive male figures. So for me, I always wanted to go to the camp once I found out about it because he would have Dave Plank, CEO of Under Armour at the time, the head executive chair for State Farm, 5 or 6 Fortune 500 CEOs walking around. So for me, they're on this property for 24 hours. I'm going to have moments in the, candy line on fishing on the lake where I can ask them opportunities.
Yeah.
So I started doing that, and what I didn't know was I had built a reputation for myself with everybody I met. It's like, that guy is so inquisitive, he's so hardworking, so respectful, so honorable, just all these good accolades.
Yeah.
So fast forward, graduated Morehouse. As I told you, I had a shoe company at the time. I was still doing my shoe company. Graduated Morehouse, top of my class. I was going to go to Harvard or Wharton to get my MBA. Well, at that time, China had a market crash, and I was so young doing my shoe business, and that's why I say mentorship and learning is so important. I had never met anybody who was doing business overseas.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a line of credit. I finally had my finances and stuff together, and I was paying for everything up front. Paid for a whole order up front. Call it $150,000. Raw materials. The factory calls you back hey, we don't have enough money to produce whatever. I was like, well, I just sent you this money for raw materials.
And when you send that wire, you can't get that thing back.
Yeah. So, and now they're like, well, we can send you raw materials back. I'm like, dog, I don't have any place for 15 tons of raw material and shipping and all that. That was all my money. So my company ended up going under, right? So now I'm really about to go to school. One day, Broderick called me up, was like, hey, man, my dad was talking to my brother-in-law, Ben, and my sister, who are all at the camp, about, he needs to hire somebody. He was like, man, he wants to talk to you. I was like, all right, cool. For sure. I'm probably about to go to school, but I'll talk to him. So we end up having a conversation, and he asked me, what am I going to grad school for? And this goes to our first point. I said, to go meet JFK's grandsons, daughters, third baby, nephew, to network. He was like, well, what do you want to do? I said, I want to do big business, be in important meetings, and do international business. Okay. How much would you make coming out? I was like, I don't know. The median income's $147K or something for graduates. He was like, okay, cool. Let me ask you one question. If you could make more money without wasting 2 years of your life, would you do it?
That's a great question.
And me being Prava at the time, I was like, well, I'm not wasting any money. I got a scholarship, duh. And he was like, don't be a smart ass. I was like, I'll probably, go to school. He's like, well, if you ever change your mind, I was like, all right, yes, sir. So drive out the gate. About 3 minutes later, I'm driving down the street. I'm like, did this man just offer me a job? Hey, Mr. Harvey. Hey, Thabiti here. You mind if I come back over tomorrow? And it was really just God, man. I think God's first and foremost is the reason that it happened, right? But along with that, it's always being prepared. This came 5 years. He told me he's always been watching me. He always used to tell me little things man, you're gonna be something. You're gonna go places. You're gonna be something. So started working for him, and it was in a super junior small role. But I'm about to go to college in a few months, so I'm like, whatever. This is some little papers, some time to work. He tasked me with finding a franchise. He wanted to get a franchise, or his CEO at the time wanted to get into franchises. So at the time, ended up doing the deal, working all the way through. cut a deal with a company that's no longer operating where, you know, he ended up getting 25% of the company, right to first refusal, you know, around 100-something locations, marketing equity, crazy deal. And it got to the point where I couldn't work it anymore. And Broderick and myself were the only people working on the deal, and his chief of staff at the time.
Yeah.
So presented the deal to him, and I later found out, like, before this new team and regime that he has, and now that was kind of structurally the best deal that ever came through the company.
Wow.
I was 22 and Broderick was 23.
Wow.
Yeah. So after that, he went to Broderick and was like, "Yo, Broderick, I really want to hire you to come, like, be this business person in my company, yada 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 yada." And Broderick was like, "Hey, Dad, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, if you really want to, like, grow your business and turn your business up, like, you need to hire Thabiti."
Dang.
So he kind of hired me, and at first it wasn't even in the role I was in. It was just always working up. So he hired me. He was like, "Come be an assistant for me." It's like, bro, I'm not about to be no assistant.
Sorry, so you had this conversation. So it's like, okay, yeah, I can make some more money in 2 years, but you didn't start out here. It was like,
yeah,
here.
I mean, we had that conversation, and he even still started me out like, I mean, because it wasn't full time at the time, because I was gonna go to school.
Yeah, no, you know, I'm trying to get. I want people to get the lessons of it, because it's like, again, it's like the conversations of. I'm even thinking about the conversation with Steve, because, like, sometimes when you're hiring people, you're thinking about exactly what you want, but he spent most of the time finding out, like, what do you want? Well, and if it's like, if it works, if it's a win-win, at least that's what I'm picking up. It's like, yo,
yeah,
what do you want? Where you trying to go?
I guess so.
Do you want to make some more money? If I can help you make more money in less time, do you want that? And it's like, yo, if the answer was no, it's like, it's cool.
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, it works. And then it's like, let me get the opportunity to go up here and show yourself.
No, I agree 100%, man. And like you said,
dope.
it didn't start me off where I thought I should have been. You know, like, I'm not going to school. You said I'm gonna make more. What's up? But ended up working my way up. So I was like always in meetings with him. Right?
Yeah.
And what I learned from that, I was like, listen, I gave myself a time period. So I'm gonna give myself 30 to 45 days to get a different position, get a role. So I'm sitting in all these meetings with him, and what I learned was, you know, being close to the person making the decision is really a powerful place to be. One, because you have to help protect them and be another set of eyes and ears for them. But I'm reading everything, contracts, business. So now, when my work day's over, I'm going home reading these same contracts 2-3 times. So when the next day comes, if it's something that needs to happen, it will go like that
through you.
Yeah. I mean, or I can just, even if he had a question about it, bro, like, what's the company we're doing this with? It's so-and-so. You know what I'm saying? Like, just start building a reputation. So I did that for some time and quickly got a promotion. He was like, man, I want you to like, do a research and development for me. All right, bet. Killed it at that. 3 months. He was like, man, like, I just need you with me all the time. I was like, all right, cool, bet. Boom, 3 months. His chief of staff is X&I. He's like, I don't know what to do. And I already did all the work that he was doing. So boom, got the co-chief of staff title.
And this is within 90 days.
This was within 14 months.
Wow.
All these within 14 months. So then while I'm doing that, one day he saw me investing. He was like, what are you doing? I'm like, my stock portfolio. Like, what do you mean? He's like, man, I ain't in stocks. I said, what happened? He said, I lost a shit ton of money during the recession. Forget that. I'm old school. I like seeing my money. I like real estate. I like cold hard things. I'm like, yeah, that's cool and all, but it's literally like a fundamental pillar of wealth.
Yeah.
He was like, really? He was like, well, let me see what you do. So I showed him my portfolio, and I ain't really had no money for real, because I was bankrolling all my shoe stuff. So I think I had like $15,000 in there or something. But I said, yeah, I started with $2,000. He was like, huh? So he ended up giving me $40,000. And through being his co-chief of staff and prove myself on that business dev side, I was starting to gain his trust, and then my returns were starting to show. And this was, call it 2013, 2014 on the first bounce back. And we were doing like anywhere between 22 and 84% a year. And then, of course, we had like some years where we did a few 1,000%.
Wow.
But yeah, but that's the story that, like, that's what how everyone found out about me when he said it in the UIL interview. Like, he gave me $40,000 and turned it to 40x.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll move you up the ranks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then from that, man, it was just like always being honest. Like, he's my best friend's father, so I treat him like a father. He's like a mentor to me. But honestly, like, I really just attested to him, like, his ability to, like, you know, sometimes people can see more in you than you can see in yourself. You might not think you're ready. And since then, man, he's just put me in positions. Like, I've met 5-6 presidents. I've done international deals. across the world, executive producer on TV. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I got a job. A long time of just being solid.
How do you honor the position? You know, because I believe like honor is like a big thing in like business and like especially like a mentor. Because sometimes people get in a position they forget. Like, how do you say, okay, because like even when we was talking, like it's like Mr. Harvey. It's like, yo, it ain't like, you know, I'll call him Steve. Just, you know.
Of course, you know.
Yeah, but
I can never.
Yeah.
I would never, but it's also like a respect thing. For me, it's my best friend's father, right? Like my father literally gave him permission to like put hands on me if I messed up his money, right? Like it's like a relationship like that. But it's just, I don't know, but I can't even answer that question because it's not even, you know, you have to remember who put you in a position. Like he really changed my life, right?
Yeah.
But also, I guess I'm just so blessed. I'm in an area like what y'all see on TV motivation. That's him all the time, bro. So I'm getting gems every day, right? Yeah. Gems about delayed gratification, right? What is it? High tides raise all boats. Enjoy the journey, and I'm getting these lessons. Imagine like how me and you talking, and these people are about to get this lesson right now. Like I'm getting it 8 to 12 hours a day.
Wow. For
the last 8 years.
That's dope.
You know, so for me, it's kind of, and it's just also just appreciating the journey. Like I told him when he hired me, like I'm gonna help you make $1 billion, and then after that we can figure it out. Dope. Worst case, 300 million, and I got a lot of hope, more 100 millions to go.
Yeah,
but that's also like fun for me, right?
Yeah. That's so. Now, you getting into international business, was that kind of like on the job training? Like, all right, I'm figuring this out as we go. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Like,
so, like I said, always gems. Mr. Harvey is really under the mindset like he will call you and tell you to do something and just hang up. So we were in Botswana at the African Diamond Council, and we met the president of Botswana. That was like the first African country we really started doing work in. He called our COO up, Brandon Williams. He's our GC and COO. He's the guy I'm always supposed to with, also a mentor to me.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, Brandon, I want to do Family Feud in Africa. And Brandon's like, what? And he just hung up the phone. So then Brandon calls me and is like, yo, what did he say? I said, yeah, dog, like he wants to do Family Feud in Africa. And he's like, all right, so does he want the African host? I said, no, dog, he wants to host it. He said, oh, he really wants to do it. Cool. And that was actually like our first international business deal. Brandon ended up securing the rights for the continent, for the specific countries. And say SH did it, called him in November. Brandon and I that next year spent probably 120 days on the continent just figuring out how to make it happen because it had never really happened before. And then our partners told us it was impossible. So we were taking meetings. I think we took 60, we were taking 2 to 3 meetings every day minimum. And these aren't like BS meetings, these are like figuring out. You know, like let's figure some stuff out. And then we're still handling all our business in the States.
Dang.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we did that for a while, and that kind of opened up the door. Mr. Harvey wanted to do, you know, Melt Africa, but it was just straight on the job training. But I'm in the mindset of like, I know I have the skill sets. I know I have the relationships. I know I have the work ethic between myself and Brandon and anyone else on our team. If we don't have it, we know who to get, who knows how to do it, right? We're partnering with Fremantle, which is one of the biggest TV conglomerates in the world. They introduced us to multiple people, reputable people who we can partner with, who would love to work with us, right? So it was really just a beautiful strategic joint venture that we kind of led, and that opened the door into we're in everything from offshore oil, infrastructure, agriculture, last mile delivery, doing business in South Africa, Botswana, Ghana, about to open up in Nigeria, Congo, and Egypt.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was definitely on the go train. I mean, like, I wanted to do IB, so I had an idea, and then it's also a thing like people need to take advantage of opportunity. Yeah. So Mr. H called Brandon. Brandon was doing the deal. I know how heavy his plate load is. I know I wanted to do IB. I started doing IB from the R&D perspective, just sending it to him, to the point where when it came time for him to take his trip, Brandon was like, I need someone to come with me. Right?
There you go.
And so that's a story into having someone to champion you and having a good reputation. Like champions are very important. So without him championing me, I never would have had the opportunity. But it's also a story in like being proactive. Like, you have to be proactive, and like success is being prepared when opportunity comes. Like a boxer isn't great on the night that he has to fight. Right? Like the night he wins the championship belt is just the highlight of his whole journey. They have been great since they were 8. They've been great since they was 12. They've been great since they was 14, training multiple hours a day, waking up and running at 5:30 for no reason. LeBron James didn't just get great when he scored, broke the record.
That's a fact.
He been training how long for that?
Yeah, his whole life.
Exactly, bro. But a lot of people just think, like, I think people think success comes so quick, especially because of the internet. Like, people look at you and and they think, dang, I want the cars, I want the life, I want the set, I want the community. But they don't know Justin Owens when he was waiting on the bus. I don't know if you rode the bus or waiting on someone to pick you up. Or you really had that moment when you said, I need to do better.
Yeah, no, bro.
Let me ask you a question. What was the moment, like, what was the moment for you when you was like, I know it's something more for me out there?
The moment for me, my parents had a cleaning business when we was kids.
Okay.
So we was clean. Like I was literally in 2nd grade. My childhood was go to school, and at nighttime we clean the buildings. Okay. That was from 2nd grade to like 9th grade in high school.
Okay.
So a part of my thing was I don't want to do this. But I like the freedom of it. What really was a changing point in my life is funny. I remember being in 3rd grade, and you get like a supply list from school, and one of the things on there was a 64 count of Crayola crayons. With the little sharpener in the back. I took that to my parents. I was like, "Yo, we gotta get these 64 crayons." My dad was like, "We're not getting you 64. We're gonna get you 8." I was like, 8?
Nigga, crayons?
So we in class. Everybody got the little sharpener in the back. The teacher's calling out colors that I ain't even got in my box. Like, all right, everybody pull out the color cyan. I'm like, yo, man, the world got this joint in my bag. You know what? If I have kids, I'm gonna get them that 64 count of crayons. And so it was like little stuff like that started driving me that. But I was learning stuff from my dad because I'm seeing him. They would bring me around business deals, like getting the contracts to clean the buildings. And I'm like, okay, man, we could do this, but we ain't got to be the people in here cleaning, do we? Like, can we just get the contracts? And so that was kind of like my introduction to entrepreneurship. And so when I got to high school, we didn't have a computer our entire lives until 9th grade. But when we got a computer, my dad got the best computer at that time. So I was the first person in school with a CD burner.
Hustling, $5 mixtapes.
Bro, no, $10.
Oh yeah.
Because you go to the record store and get something for 12, and I'm like, listen, this is 10. You can put everything you want.
You was doing mixtapes or you was burning whole CDs?
Both.
LimeWire
was a Kaza, and one more. I forgot what it was. My brother would know. And we was downloading and burning. I even had the little label that you put the cover on it.
I just feel like entrepreneur, like people see you.
Yeah.
They will never know that. They'll never know you probably made a few hundred and didn't take no profits. Or
that's when you start learning. Like,
yeah.
Okay, I got these CDs, but I can't take all the profit because my dad was like, I'll buy you 1 stack of CDs. You got to do the rest. He did that with every business we had. It was like, we had candy. He was like,
startup capital.
I bought the first one, you got to do everything
Did y'all
else.
ever pay him back?
For the candy, I did. I feel like in 11th grade, I think I gave him back the money for. Well, I tried to. He didn't take it. The CDs. He was like, "No, I'm not taking that," because it was like $50 or something like that. He was like, "No, you good." But the CDs flipped into selling throwback jerseys.
Yeah.
Which flipped into selling rims.
Which was
I sold everything that was legal.
Yeah, but it's actually like a story, and like I feel like a lot of times, if we start talking about finance or any of these business deals or any things that I'm doing, people look at the number and be like, hypothetically, 100,000 is so far away from me.
Yeah.
And the truth is, it's not. And like, I'm probably gonna say a lot of Steve Harvey gems, but like, it's the power of 10. Like, you don't have to have $1 million idea. You have to have a $10 idea and figure out how to do that thing 10 times. You were selling TDs for $10. You did it 10 times. You had $100.
Yeah.
Do that 10 more times.
Yeah.
That's what, $1,000? Do that 10 more times. That's 10,000. Do that 10 more times. That's 100,000. It's just about finding an idea, right? It's like,
that's tight.
Yeah, it's just little things, bro. It adds up. But so often we get caught up in like instant gratification is crazy, dog.
It's wanting it quick, but it's also like, I think it's also not understanding what people go through. Because like, I think the easiest thing for a person to say as an entrepreneur is like, you don't understand. Like, well, I may not understand exactly that situation, but I do understand not having something and wanting it.
Yeah.
I do understand wanting to be here now and I'm down here. Yeah. I get all of that, but I also understand that like there's some things that you developed in high school relationship wise that still serves you today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think you know, and I want to ask you about this because for me, relationships are more important than money. I rather have a relationship than money because I just always tell people money comes from people. And if you ain't good with people and getting around people, you ain't going to be good at making money. And I feel like that's a skill that's not really taught in business. I don't know why. A lot of people don't really teach, hey, how do you build solid relationships and be genuine without wanting something in return? You're really good relationships and a lot of your business is relationships. How do you, what are some things that maybe you could share that could help people master building relationships, maintaining relationships long term?
So actually, one of my job roles is like actually maintaining a lot of Mr. Harvey's relationships that he has. So whether it's like ABC, Disney, WME, I'm just partner relations.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you said that. But
I didn't even know that. That's dope.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I gotta tell you, it's an onion. It's an onion.
That's tight.
But one of the things I'll say, like for me, if you go to a lot of events, and I've been at a lot of super expensive events, and you look around, there's a small percent of people who pay, and those people cover the cost of everything else. And there's a big percentage of people who are invited for influence. And there's also a big percent of people invited because they know someone who can get them a band or a ticket or a pass.
Yeah.
And I realized that at a young age. And once I realized that, it's like money is important. Money is extremely hard to get and takes a long time. Relationships are just as important, a little easier to build. You don't need money to build relationships.
That's a fact.
Right? A little easier to build, and at the end of the day, could be the catalyst for me making money. A lot of people make money off relationships, but a lot of the relationships that are made off of money are either temporary or fake.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So for
You
me,
see it every time stuff fall apart. Like, yo, what happened?
Yeah, what happened? Oh, we stopped making money. As soon as people start making money, they start suing. They start. The dude from the XXX case, they say he started snitching on the dude, everybody, because he got 5,000, they all got 15. Like when relationships are based around money, it's harder. But like money made off relationships is like a real easier thing for me.
Facts.
But for me, it's like first tip I'll say is just be yourself and be genuine.
Yeah.
The coolest thing about a person is just being yourself. Like I love people be like, man, you rocking them? Like, yeah, they're not anything like you. Like, I know. And I'm cool with that. Like, I don't want to hang out with myself all day. You know what I'm saying? It's like the coolest thing about somebody is when they're extremely themselves. If I see somebody acting too hard or mimicking everything I say and not having any like original thought, come on now, I'm gonna realize what's going on, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing I'll say is be intentional. Yeah. So if you want to have a relationship with somebody, don't be overbearing, but be intentional. Yeah. If you're in a room, and you got to take the chance, like, hey, you're in a room with somebody. If it's a chick in the room or whatever you're attracted to in the room, and you see that person over there, if you don't walk over there to them and talk to them to approach them, then it will never happen. Right? Or you can hope that, like, you can see them staring at you too. Yeah. You be sitting over there in the corner, like, I see you looking at me. I see you looking at me, right? Yeah. But then at the end of the day, if you don't go over there, it's not gonna happen. So you have to be intentional about what you're gonna do, and then be selective. Like, you have to be very selective in timing. If you see someone talking to someone else at a certain time, just wait. Yeah. Try to have some type of information. Try to have something that everyone else isn't gonna do. Yeah. Right? So if you meet someone and all they do is talk real estate, but then you also know, like, oh, they have a golden doodle. You be like, man, so I also have a golden doodle. Yada yada. Like, oh, really? Like, find something to pique their interest, right? To kind of hold a conversation. But one of the best things, man, I'll have to say is just, introductions help. Yeah. And that's why I say being real and being solid to people really helps you, right? So if you meet someone and you might have only met them one time, how often do you dap people up? I'm talking about from back here. Not even like, what's up? Like, it's a back here dap. You might have met them 5-6 times. Yeah. Or you might have seen them in a place. But in their mind, they know you about your business. You handle your business. You're very cool and personable. Yeah. And he'll be like, oh, so-and-so, that's my boy. I'll introduce you, right? Yeah. So that matters, but that introduction is the most important thing. Like, you introducing somebody to me versus Joe Blow, who I know doesn't handle their business, is going to be kind of different, right? Yeah. So it's up to you to know exactly who, if you're going to have an introduction made, is introducing you to this situation.
Yeah, I like that. That's some bars, bro.
Told you, be around Steve Harvey all day.
Y'all better take some notes. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, y'all want to fan in.
Now, let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you the opposite. is, so you do meet a lot of people in business. What are some things that you like, yo, I don't do business with people when I see this or when I recognize this? What are some turnoffs in business?
I mean, people who don't do what they say they're going to do. Mm-hmm. A lot of the times, like the one line I really don't like is like, hey, I got $1 million idea for you. I got a $10 million idea for you. Have you made $10 million? No. So if you haven't made $10 million, mm-hmm. why are you giving me $10 million when you wouldn't just do it? Why are you not just doing it yourself?
Right.
You know? So I stay away from that one. In any like business venture I'm looking into, if someone says to me like in a deck, this company is XYZ, if we get this, is this much market cap, if I get 1% of this market cap, is this many dollars a year revenue, I'm probably not investing in a business. Because of course anybody
I've heard that before too.
Anybody can get that much in revenue. On any level of parenting, if you're a parent and you don't handle or anybody, if you don't handle your responsibilities at home, like I really can't do business with you, because if you're not gonna take care of your own child, wife, partner, husband, uncle, then you're not going to take care of me.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, you know, it's really just, let's see, what else don't I like? I don't know, I don't say it. I say no more than yes.
Yeah.
But that's how like you increase your success rate. Like, and then you don't have the time.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, I was reading this book, Essentialism by Greg McCohen. He'll probably be a good person to have on here.
Oh, bet.
And basically, Essentialism talks about energy, right? So let's say I got 20 projects over here, and I do 20 projects a day. Those 20 projects are all getting 5% of my energy. Mm-hmm. However, if I have one project that I'm working on solid, then that should get all my energy. Mm-hmm. And the book Essentialism essentially talks about every decision you make should be based around two things: your financial well-being or your happiness.
Oh, that's dope.
Everything I do is based around those two things. If it's not one of those two things, it's probably not gonna be important.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, this is for your happiness. This is for your financial well-being. I'm doing this because my happiness. I like talking to you. I like kicking it with you. About to go get some sushi afterwards, right? You know,
big facts.
So it's like
he like taking a couple L's.
Yeah, man. You know no, but it's like, and it's just like iron sharpening iron, right?
Yeah,
it's like
not real.
You know, I know I'm doing a lot of business stuff. You're doing a lot of business stuff. I'm not doing. We might not ever do a transaction together ever, but it's like those conversations could be multi-million-dollar conversations. Those networks can be multi-million-dollar networks. You know, and I love like what y'all doing with y'all circle CEOs, and like, I think that's so dope, because in so many other communities you'll see people put their money together to buy XYZ. You'll see people put their information together. Like, listen, this is how I just made $1 million. This is how you can make $1 million. But I feel like in the Black community, especially, it's like, I done made 10. I want to have 100. I don't care if Justin gets 1.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I really love that, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. And I feel like that's one of the things we talk about. I feel like has to change. It's like, you know, some of it is like we just haven't been around that long. You know, in this capacity, a lot of this stuff is new. Like, you know, bro, the generation that we're in, like, the last generation, they see a lot of normal, average, ordinary Black kids doing this. Yeah, unless they was in sports or entertainment or something like that.
And even then, they were spending it. They weren't saving it. They weren't investing it.
So the financial literacy, that's why like even like the EYL stuff is really important. So I think it's just people like you, you know, and other entrepreneurs say, okay, I'm gonna get it, but let me be an example of like, how do we do this? How do we take care of home? How do we take care of our kids? How do we take care of our spirituality or whatever is important? So I think it's our bodies. We were talking about working out. You know what I'm saying? You gotta try to take care as much as possible, I think, to be able to win. I'm asking you on the relationship side because I think this is something that happens a lot of times in business. Congratulations on the fiance. I know y'all get married soon. You know what I'm saying? Y'all both bosses.
She the boss.
Yes. You traveling, she traveling.
I thought I was a boss.
How do you, because there are people that are in relationships like that where it's like, okay, man, we're both very busy. So one of the questions I'm asking you is like, how do you find the time for each other? And then two, how do you even manage life in business and the relationship with a lot of that going on?
So I think the first part is like me and my girl, we met in college. So I went to Morehouse, she went to Spelman. And so we've been together. We had a little period where we broke up when I moved to LA. You know, got a little crazy. But prior to that, I think it's just time, man. We really grown together, right? So we both seen each other as ugly duckling. We both seen each other and live life. Like we've really grown with each other. And I will say, like, I know a lot of times with relationships, like, I was in Atlanta, she was in, I was in LA, she was in Atlanta, so we was doing, like, a lot of the long distance, but we was making that commitment, like, hey, you gonna get on this flight? She was doing more flying than me, but she was gonna get on this flight. She'll get on the red eye, land in Atlanta in the morning, right? It's just, like, sacrifices. So I'll say the first part is, like, we were willing to make sacrifices for each other. I'll say the second thing is, like, we had to really just, it didn't really work until we were both committed.
Yeah.
So even if she 100%, it's two people. So if she giving 100% and I'm giving 50, it's still only 75% in the relationship. You see what I'm saying? It takes two people giving 100 or 90%. So I'll say that was the second thing, and then it was just growth, man. Like, I feel like a lot of times people have to really grow with each other, right? So what she liked at 21 ain't what she like at 25. Yeah. So what I was doing at 25 that she like ain't what she like at 30. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's just being, like, having that wherewithal to understand that, like she's a person, I'm not perfect. You know, as men, we like to think we God's gift to earth. You know what I'm saying? I smell myself all the time, and it's just like understanding, you know, that there are other emotions involved. But as far as the traveling and stuff, it's just, I think we both understand, like, I want to talk to you, you want to talk to me. However, we both want to build. We both, I think, are probably the wealthiest people in our family right now. We both got it out the mud. We got a lot of similarities. But I think it's just understanding, like, she has a goal and a mission too. Of course, she could be a housewife and wants to be one, but she's also like, I want to live my dreams. I want to build myself up too. And like, for me, I think it's nothing more badass than my girl being like my birthday, I went to St. Bart's, and she paid for my whole birthday. Yeah, I literally just walked on the plane. Like, to me, that's boss. That's boss. And she doesn't have to, right? But I'll just say, man, it's just like understanding. Like, that's the tip that I have. Like, you got to be understanding. You got to be willing. Understanding this sacrifice. Now, I'm not saying put up with no BS. Yeah. And it's just a team sport, man. Like, we didn't really start working until we was both committed to winning. So when I was 50%, she was 100, and it didn't work. When I was 100, she was 50, it didn't work. When we was both 75, it didn't work. Like, it's really 100, and that's my homie, man. I love my girl. Like I love kicking it with her. We like got a lot of the same hobbies, and then she also picks up in the places I don't. Like, she gonna take me to, I go to all the fly shit. Like, you see the stuff I be posting. Like, I do it. Dog, she be playing 99% of that shit. I be hustling. You know? Yeah, so.
No, that's dope. You know, I feel like you gotta have a teammate. And I want to bring it up because, you know, like, we live in a world today also, you know, sometimes as men, you see people that are just like, oh, I'm just out here in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I'm living life. And I'm not knocking if you're in the streets. You do your thing.
Yeah, you gotta get it out your system.
You gotta get it out and get it out your system.
You gotta get it out of there.
But at a certain point, it's like, at the same time, it's like, man, for the next level, it's like the foundation of family, the foundation of relationships and being able to build, but also being able to have examples of people that can actually teach you how to do it the right way. Because there's some people that, you know, there's people that's doing it, but they teach you to do it a little differently. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to hear that because there are people that date people that are entrepreneurs, and what I like about it is, like, neither one of y'all are saying either person has to give up on their dream.
Yeah, I mean, what type of partner would I be if I asked my girl to give up on her dream for mine? And a lot of people do, but I think for me, my biggest dream was seeing her living out her dream. Yeah, you know? Like seeing her being turned up. Yeah, and then for me, it's like when I got out of college, like, I was an entrepreneur. My girl was making bank. So, you know, it was getting over, like, it was that humility part of that.
I was going to ask you, so at the beginning, she was making more money then?
Oh, nah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I was going to ask you, for sure.
Can you date somebody making more money? But I guess
at the beginning, she was, for sure. Yeah. And even now, like, I think, I don't know when it's going to drop, but, like, she's chief of staff at Uber. Like, she got a really high position there for, like, one of the top people there, right? Yeah, so she's doing her thing. She still making bread. But at first, like, it was a little insecure being 100. You know, like, you going to work? Or whatever, and we were young. I was 22. You know what I'm saying? She's 21.
Let's talk. All right, so maybe because there might be some guys that's listening, like the girl making a little money. So, what were some things there? Like you said, humility. Like, what was the?
It was really. I mean, if it doesn't push you to do more, like then I don't. You know.
It ain't in you.
Yeah, I ain't know how to say it. Like,
it ain't in you, my guy.
So for me, it pushed me to do more, and she pushed me to do more. You know what I'm saying? I tell, like, people, like, a lot of times, like, your partner is an elevator, bro. Yeah. And no matter what you say, it's either gonna go up or down, and you're never gonna say the same. So if you know, your partner is either gonna take you up and elevate you, even if it's only one floor of elevation, even if it's introducing you to one new place, or they're gonna be draining, messing up your credit, or messing up your life, or just giving you stress. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever it might be. So I feel like your partner's like an elevator. So for me, it was just I just wanted someone who was gonna help elevate me. I know this journey I'm on is a hard one, right? Like I told you, I was out of the country 120 days. This time I'm in the Middle East 3-4 weeks at a time. I mean, she comes now, but we ain't always have it like that, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like you gotta have somebody who's on the same mission. So like I feel like having aligned goals are important. You ain't gotta be 100% alike, but like I want to do this. I want this type of lifestyle. Me too. Yeah. So what do I have to do to get it?
I was about to say, so the aligning goals is like, okay, we're not in the same business or even the same industry, but this is the things we want to accomplish together. You do this part, I do this part. This is how we can both get there.
Yeah, and like I ain't gonna lie, like I'm perfect, but we still figuring this stuff out now, and we getting married in June.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But it's like I wouldn't have wanted it any other way.
Yeah,
and then like life growing with people, bro, changes you. You know what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, bro, I think having a girl that's a boss is a blessing. Even if you don't have one, your girl is the boss in other areas. She's the boss of your house. She's taking care of your kids. She's doing all the appointments for your life insurance. Like it's so many ways. Like you don't have to just be an asset adding like money. She can be your piece.
Yeah.
Like that person could just be the person you just want to talk to and vent. Yeah. Or you want to go on a trip and she's your buddy, right? Like, so.
Yeah, that's, man. Y'all can take some notes on this because that's good stuff, man.
I'm not perfect.
Disclaimer: I'm not perfect. He said, "I'm still working on it." But I think that's the thing, bro. It's like I don't feel like you got to be perfect to share advice that could be beneficial.
For sure.
Like I ain't perfect. I just started my workout journey 60 days ago,
but your homeboy's super fit, so it should be easy.
Fact, yeah, but nah, bro. Because what was tough is. It's like, man, I don't want to go to the gym starting at the bottom.
Like, you don't want people to see you there.
It's out, like, because I'm like, and I was literally just talking about guys about this today. I was like, what I enjoy about this process is, like, it was humility all over again. Because, like, here you are at the top of your game over here, and here you are over here, you can barely lift 10 pounds or do 20 push-ups. You're like, dang, I'm winning over here, but I suck in this area. I got to fix this. Cause I don't want my whole life to be like, well, I don't want to just be winning in one space and losing every place else. So I said, okay, you know what, body, it ain't gotta be perfect, but can we make an improvement? Can we tighten it up? Can we get a little bit stronger? And I think a lot of people, especially as entrepreneurs, you get so focused on your career, you forget about your body, forget about your health, until you get a little older and then you feel your body changing. And you be like, wait a minute, I need.
Man, you only get one body.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And ain't no redoing. You only get one set of teeth.
Facts.
I mean, you can get veneered.
Yeah.
But you only get one body.
So you get veneered.
And then also on this road that we on, man, like what I learned, especially, I tell you, bro, I think I'm really blessed. Like, people ask me, like, what's one of the major attributes to my success? I'll say Steve Harvey, Brandon Williams. Like, the two people I work with the most, right? Because I work with a guy who's 66, a guy who's 45, a guy who has a life, two guys who have lives I aspire to have, and then they see me going left and be like, hey, bro, this is how you're supposed to do it. You know what I'm saying? And, I think lessons that I got from them, bro.
Just game changers.
Yeah, like it's really game changers,
Yeah. I was talking to my friend Tia, and I was like, I feel like teeth are BBLs for guys. What you think about that?
Beards.
Hey,
you see a dude with a beard, and then you be like,
he look a little different.
Is that Wendell? And they be like, what? You hear somebody, who is that? I'm like, dog, man.
Throw the beard up. I can't. I don't think I can do it.
I think teeth are like a sign of wealth. Like if the more you travel the world, you'll realize like, damn, dental hygiene, because a lot of people don't have insurance. A lot of people don't have insurance.
Yeah, but you know what I realized though, bro? It don't cost that much, even without insurance, to go to the dentist.
But people are irresponsible, and like that's why a story like that is like one of my biggest proponents. Like people be getting caught up in the funk.
Yeah.
Like I always wanted to make sure like, forget what I got on. I got on some off the leash right now, just promoting. But forget what people have on. Forget what they portray. Like I want to be financially good.
Yeah.
Like my car's paid off. Living whatever, like I want to be good, life insurance, all that, and I feel like a lot of times people get so caught up in, I get $3,000 or I get $2,200 for my paycheck. I'm about to have a $2,000 apartment. Right. I got a credit card, and it's like little things. Like to me, bro, I don't get impressed. I don't think someone's up when I see jewelry, AP, watch, glasses, material. Like, I think, and I hope these people really hear me when I say this, but like, you'll really have it together when you have your basic essentials. Cause like you got your spot might not be the best, but you got a spot.
Yeah.
You don't have all the channels, but you got some type of cable. You don't have the best insurance, but you have some. You know, you have a savings. Like you staying in eating oodles and noodles, not because you have to, because you can go out, but you trying to save up to buy a course. You trying to save up to invest. You trying to do whatever you want to do. So like, to me, those are the most financially stable people. Those are the people who, like, I think are going to be, you know, ill-equipped or better equipped to handle the next 5 years, 6 years, because those people building these principles, it's about building the principles now.
Yeah.
Like I said, years of doing stuff.
Yeah.
Building these little principles now, damn, I saved $1,000 this year. Damn, I saved $2,000. Damn, I'm still getting that same percent, now I save 25. And you look up, you got 100,000, 50,000. You know, like, it's about doing the little steps now to kind of get where you want to go.
Yeah, I like it. You said you spent a lot of time. I know we was talking in UAE, Dubai. I haven't been there. That's my goal. You know what I'm saying? When these days you go, I'm gonna go with you. You know what I'm saying? But like, tell us about that side of the world, business, because you said you feel like more people need to go over there, experience it, but also get into business. Yeah. And that side of the world, can you shed some light on that?
Yeah, man. So started going to the UAE probably like 7 years ago. Started doing business there about 5 years ago. And once again, it's just like, Steve Harvey putting me in an extraordinary position, having belief in me. Yeah. I think I was like 25, but I was also working with Brandon, so it helps, right? I had someone with some experience. But he wanted to go over there and do some business. So we would do speaking engagements, and he invested millions of dollars for sure in like travels, and all together, travel, stay, flights, meetings, paying for the team to be out there, exploration, right? Investing into his idea that he had to do Steve Harvey Global. And he went to the F1 race. He met the ruler of the UAE, Sheikh Mbizi Mohammed. So in the UAE is a monarchy. So that means it's one ruler. Whatever they say goes. And after that relationship was cultivated, Mr. Harvey was extremely determined. So Brandon and I, again, spent about 60 days in the UAE, developing concepts, figuring out business opportunities. And now we have Melt Middle East, which is a company Brandon and I set up for Mr. Harvey. Of course, he's the chairman, CEO, runs it. And the main job of that company is facilitating transactions for like Eastern and Western worlds, right? So we would take XYZ company in California that makes the best roasted coffee in the world, and they want to expand and get to the Middle Eastern market, and then we'll pair them with the biggest grocery store wholesaler who wants to white label, do their own coffee, or the biggest coffee shops over there, and vice versa. We'll connect a major government organization over there with a star or a person over here that they really want to work with. So we've been doing some pretty good transactions. We create a lot of original IPs out there, and now it's to the point where like in 4 or 5 years, we've actually become known on both sides in the States. If you want to come do business in the Middle East and I need some help, they're usually hitting myself, Mr. Harvey, or Brandon. Yep. And in the UAE, they're hitting myself, Mr. Harvey, or Brandon if they want to do something on the other side. So coming to your relationship conversation, cultivating both of those relationships, now it's kind of being known as like the plug over there. Yeah. And to answer your question about how is the UAE, it's amazing. Like a lot of people always think of Dubai and Abu Dhabi. The UAE is 7 Emirates. Dubai and Abu Dhabi are 2. The UAE is 51 years old. Everything that you see in the UAE was built in 51 years. All this Dubai stuff was built in 51 years. It was a desert before that. Beaches and all. They've built an island. Wow. Main reason I love it, no crime. I'm from Atlanta, dog. What you mean, no crime? Yeah. Literally 0 crime. You can't have a car past a certain age. Everything's brand new. They have tens of thousands of multi-star restaurants. Michelin star just came there last year. And if you really look at the map, the Middle East has 4 of the 5 richest families in the world. Wow. Because they produce their own oil. And they don't file taxes. They don't report taxes. Wow. Right? And they made it very easy to do business and set business up over there because they want people to come because they are a desert. Wow. So now they're trying to create this opportunity as the biggest city in the world to do everything business, no crime, business and infrastructure. That's why they have the Burj Khalifa. They just announced the Jacob Tower. That's supposed to be the biggest building in the world by far, right? Yeah. And they're promoting all these opportunities over there. So for us, it's like I love it. I'm probably gonna definitely get a crib over there.
Yeah. Was building relationships the same principles from over there?
Exact same principles, but now it's just when you do international business, the main thing you need to understand in any country are the religion and the cultural norms.
Okay.
For example, in the UAE, the one question I get: can you dress normal? You're a foreigner. They expect your girl not to have straps on they can have skin showing. You can have rips in your jeans, especially if you're doing it in their region, like in Dubai. You don't want to go out. Now, I'm not saying go outside and smack somebody because they will arrest you. They have the fastest police response times. But if you're not a criminal, you should feel very safe. Mm-hmm. And actually, if you are a criminal, they don't have any extradition laws. So a lot of criminals are chilling there now because they're not going to cooperate with any outside governments because they don't really need to.
Yeah.
Right? So I have nothing really bad to say about it. About what type of food you like.
Sushi, Chinese.
They got all that. They got amazing sushi, amazing Chinese. They got great Jamaican spots because everyone comes there. They bring people there.
Wow. Yeah. That's tight.
And the main reason I like it, man, is like, it's 51 years old, right? The country's 51 years old. And my ideology is, imagine being in New York, 1911, right? When the city's early booming and bustling. Pick any industry. If you were the water bottle supplier, if you were the book publisher, if you were the toilet paper supplier, and you've done that at that time, what companies are those now?
Right.
The Heinz and the Hunts of the world. Yeah, the Hershey's of the world. All these companies were formed in countries during that time. So for me, it's like, I'm capitalizing, I've built opportunities and relationships. So now it's like, I love bringing someone like you. I love taking someone like a Kevin Hart or a Travis Scott, whoever over there, and introducing them to opportunities that might not necessarily have been there before.
That's dope. So, with all that being said, it sounds like a lot of work. Average day in your life, work day is what? 9 to 5?
Oh no, bro. What day? Give me a day.
Today.
Today. We're not filming.
Okay. Let's say a film day. What does that look like?
So it would have been easier to say today.
We'll get both.
All right, boom. So I'm gonna do today first.
All right.
Or I'll do yesterday. Yesterday, first call, 4 a.m. Nigeria company. Then I had coffee. Then I had some little meditation time. Then I had a call at 7 a.m. UAE. Then, because we're not filming, got in the car, gym, left the gym, went to Mr. Harvey's house. We interviewed Kamala Harris yesterday, so I was doing all the Secret Service stuff. Did a Kamala Harris interview, met her, whatever we had to do with her team. Left there, went to a company that I started, had a commercial shoot they were doing, so stop by there, check that out. Went to meet with 2 VC firms for Mr. Harvey, and then it was 6:30. Went home, and then I had a 9 o'clock call with this company in Australia, so it was like early their time. And then went to sleep. So that's like a normal. That's like not a film day. And then if it's filming, same business calls early in the morning. Then I'll go to radio. So do radio with Mr. Harvey. He has the #1 urban contemporary radio show. Do radio with him. Gym, leave gym, go to set. On the way to set, I'm taking whatever calls I missed when I was in the gym or in radio. Get to set about 10:30. Usually calls. I'll do a briefing with him about whatever information I need. Do a briefing with Brandon. Whatever I need from him. Do a briefing with Christelle. Whatever I need from her. Go over a call with my team members about whatever we have due. Have about an hour period to kind of like timestamp what I need to focus on. Then the next period is like either meetings or focusing on that. Talk to my team, report that. And then we're usually at set to about 8:30, 9:30 at night. So we work later hours then. Yeah. And then go home about 9, get home like 10:30. And then start over in the morning.
Jeez. Yeah. I show y'all what it's like, right? I'm just throwing it out there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
And I ask that because a lot of times I think sometimes people say they want to do something like, do you just want the result, or do you actually want to do the process of that too? Because it's almost like do I just want to get the Super Bowl ring? Do I want to go through training camp, play every Sunday, be sore all season, have the injuries for the chance to go, or do I just want to be like, yo, holding the award? And I think sometimes in business people get caught up in the highlights, like, oh, Dubai or this, but no, the day-to-day is actually more challenging than just the highlights.
Yeah, and even the Dubai part and all that is really hard. I mean, the hardest part I'll say is probably managing different time zones. But then I also have it's hard because I have great leadership. Like when I tell you I'm in a 24/7 space of motivation, positivity, and like positive mindset. And like that's why your mindset's so important. It was one point when I was working for Mr. Harvey, he was 62, I was 26. And the same schedule I have, I'm with him all the time, so he's on the same schedule, right?
Wow.
And for me, how am I gonna be tired when I'm literally this guy's age flipped backwards? So I think just working for him. When I first started working for him, we worked 61 days in a row. So he was known as the hardest working man in entertainment. He had 7 shows on TV, radio show every morning, books, business. He was the hardest working man in entertainment. And from that period, he just instilled a work ethic in me. Like I refused to if he was getting to work at 6, I'm gonna be there at 5:57.
Yeah.
If he leaving at 11, whatever, I'm gonna wait to see them tail lights pull off and then go home. It was one period, man, I was at work. When we worked in Chicago, I'll be at work every day 4:30 because, radio starts at 5. 4:30, be at work all day. We ain't leave till 9:30 at night. And this is when I first started, when I first got the opportunity when I was 22, when I told you he offered it to me, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like I got a work ethic instilled in me from viewing it, from being around it. You know what I'm saying? That like, it ain't nobody, bro. I don't care. And then like in our company, there's people who I compete with to outwork, and it's like, dang, these results are so good. Why? Because we all compete into, So
that's dope. That's dope, man. I love it, bro.
Yeah.
If you were to start over today in business, where would you start?
Selling candy. Nah, so like right now today.
Yeah.
Do I have the same skill sets? Do I have? If I had to start over, if I lost everything right now. First thing I'll probably be doing is consulting because people want to talk.
Yeah.
I'll probably be doing something in a digital space because it's some free content that I can make. I'll definitely be doing stocks. But honestly, for me, man, I'm leveraging this network I made. Like me, more importantly than everything, I know what I've done for him. Not only I can go apply that to other people.
Yeah.
I can go do that for myself.
Yeah.
I can go raise some money.
Yeah.
And do it for other people and myself.
Yeah.
So if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, I'll be an entrepreneur, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I think, and I could be wrong, but so tell me. But it seems like in your space, in your environment, it's like Mr. Harvey's like also like, yo, you working with me, but like I want you to enterprise and kind of do your thing.
He preaches it.
Yeah. But there's some people that work for people that are like, nope. Look, you like. How's that environment, and two, how do you feel like that's important for people to be able to create that? One, either for other people, or you know what I'm saying, to be in the right environment.
So one of the best things he ever told me when I first started, he was, Mr. Harvey said, sometimes you have to help somebody achieve their dream to finance yours. So while I'm helping Mr. Harvey make these billions of dollars that he wants to make, I am at the same time simultaneously earning checks and opportunities and whatever you need to finance mine. So if I'm practicing delayed gratification and taking this 2 years to save up X amount of checks that I'm not spending, then I'll have money to participate in either opportunities that I see with him, opportunities I might see with you, opportunities that might come across on my own. And that for me was the first lesson that I learned. And then what I'll say, he wants to create 1,000 millionaires.
Wow.
And it's really just from him, man. It's like I can't be around someone so great and doing so many good things and not absorb the sauce. Like if you cooking the main fire over here and I'm a little chicken over here, I'm gonna get some seasonings, some flame. This side, one side might be cooked, but I'm gonna pick up something. Yeah. And to look at him be as successful as he is, his motto to me is ABC. Always be closing. And use him for example. He had 7 TV shows and a radio show, and he always keeps adding more. Want to know why? Because when they take one away, he has another one going. Yeah. Right? And so that's his mindset in TV. That was a mindset that I picked up. There's only one job you can't be fired from, no matter how good you are. And that's the one you create for yourself.
Right.
And I love my job. I'm not saying I'm leaving anytime soon, but however, if I see my boss with 7, 8 income streams and jobs, why wouldn't I also have 7, 8 income streams and jobs? Now, that's my number one focus, and that's my number one obligation, and I'm going to make $1 billion. And in that, you know, he allows us, he's a generous guy. He allows us, if we're investing in XYZ, his investment's done, and there's some more stuff on the table, I can go ahead and put $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 on the investment with him, right? So now I'm financing my dreams from helping him achieve his, helping him make $5 million. I might make $25,000.
Yeah.
But you wasn't making that before.
Yeah.
And then I take that $25,000, or I take 15 of that $25,000 plus the original money and do it again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now I'm investing $40,000.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's like, okay, I see how this works.
Yeah.
You know, so
Smart.
Yeah, man. And then he just preaches his enterprise. He knows that all of us aren't gonna work for him forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look at Ellie, for example. Ellie is someone who's probably gonna be one of the biggest stylists in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Harvey's gonna cultivate and then let us go. I say it's the Steve Harvey School of like business. Like everybody who really comes out of this school, if y'all really listen, there's no way you're not gonna be successful because it's 24/7 drill camp, boot camp, whatever it is, man. So
I love it. I love it, bro. That's dope. I've learned a lot, man. Just in literally it's both sides of like what you've been able to go through. And this is just a little short conversation, so I can imagine, like you said, every day. Any businesses like today, like you like, man, I want to venture out into this. You haven't done it yet. Anything you want to get into that you haven't got into yet?
For me personally, or for Steve Harvey?
For you.
For me personally, man, so like I said, Mr. Harvey allows us to have our own businesses, especially as long as it doesn't conflict in anything and we're doing a good job. You can't have a business and not be performing at your job because then he's going to say you're not focused, right?
Yep.
But I have my company, the Stevens Group, and we basically focus in like strategic joint ventures.
Mm-hmm.
So I've developed a skill set, I've developed a relationship. Where I'm looking at right now is just leveraging the contacts and things I have in the Middle East and Africa on the big part. Relationships, is funny that you said that, like I said earlier, because people are now kind of like referring to me as like the plug. Yeah. You know? Mm-hmm. And it's just, I told you I do things out of like kindness in my heart.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure.
I meet somebody, next day introduce them to an extremely influential figure. Yeah. And they'll appreciate that. The figure doesn't really care, but to them, it's like I changed their life, right?
Right, yeah.
And now I look up, and now they're doing interviews, and the figure might be a partner, or they might be allowed to co-invest, right? Or might get invited to a dinner, right? Yeah. And it's like, dang, you really helped cultivate that relationship, and even though you really didn't do anything else, people really might attest that towards you. Right, yeah. And because of just doing that for so long, people are calling me, like, I became known for, of course, 40Xing Steve Harvey's money in 16 months. Mm-hmm. Being the plug and connecting people, doing business in the UAE, so, and establishing his businesses in the UAE. So if those are the three things that I'm known for, you know, it's about time to start looking and leveraging those, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So right now, I'm looking at taking a few franchises over there. It's a media entity that I'm looking to acquire on the continent, and scale that. It's just, it's so many opportunities, man. I work with a lot of different businesses and brands, like help with operations and scaling. Yep. But like my overall goal, man, is make Steve Harvey this $1 billion. And I know I'm gonna make probably about 50, 100 million during that. Yeah. And then I just want freedom, man. I want the ability to talk to you and you tell me you don't X, Y, Z. I'll be like, oh, really? We should do that. I want to have a strategic joint ventures firm. Yeah. So a lot of people come by, and even if I can't do anything, I'll connect them with someone who's looking to do it. And I have so many very influential people reaching out to me right now, asking me to kind of do their business and stuff. Of course, I'm holding off because, you know, I'm focusing on SH, but you know, there's always an opportunity there once I scale out some operations and things like that. So freedom is my overall next step.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'll ask you this. I know you told me about one of these early in your career. I don't know if you've had any since then, but I always have a segment on the show called Breakdown to Breakthrough. And I know for me in my life, I've had a set of breakdowns, and there's some lessons I learned, and if I learn the lessons and apply it, I can get out and break through to the next level. Have you had any breakdowns in your career since? I know you talked about the first one with the shipping containers, and then if you have had some other ones, some lessons you gathered that was able to allow you to break through.
For sure, all the time. But like I said, I have a mentorship circle where I talk about them with them so quickly that I learn the lessons. But I'll tell you my most recent one. You want the actual story, what happened?
Yeah, whatever you want to share. Whatever you
So I was working on an international deal, super high profile talent out of the States, with a vendor in Ireland or some Amsterdam or something, right? And during the deal, was based off relationships. I have a relationship with a guy who 100% trusts me. And because of that trust, he, without a doubt, introduced me into this high-profile talent who was extremely hard to get, right? And I, at the time, didn't even think about how important it was just kind of maintaining those levels of trust and transparency and everything. And I didn't 100% vet out my buyer on the European side. So I actually trust going wrong on multiple parts. So the guy I trusted, he said it was a reputable dude, it was a reputable company. We end up going through, call it 2-month legal process, get the document and the deal signed. The deal's closed, signed. This is the Friday morning the wire is supposed to be sent. These people are going blue, right? So we keep pushing it back. In the deal, the buyer ended up saying something like, yeah, I know we agreed to this, but it's too high. And for the super high profile talent, this is his first time doing anything with me. He probably didn't know me from Joe Blow, right? But he knew my trusted source and then my background after we met. And I actually leveraged one of Brandon's relationships because that's how, relationships are everything, right?
Yeah.
So his name was out based off his trust on me blindly without even knowing anything or having anything to do with the deal. Deal ends up falling through to the point the relationship that we borrowed was messed up. His relationship was now messed up with this talent. I'm talking about this is a world-class Grammy, It's only 10 of them, right? And what I learned from that lesson, man, is so anyway, Brandon ended up helping me fix it up and everything cleared up and everything's cool now. We still haven't done business with that talent, but the lesson that I learned from it was man, don't rush. I don't have to rush the play. I don't have to rush the game. It feels basketball to be let the game come to you. Don't force the game. Don't force the ball. And I was trying to force this play so much. Would have been a 6-figure payday for everybody involved, right? Don't rush the play so much that I miss minor details. And the key are in the little details. Typically I do a multi-level background check, can tell the company's reputation, all that stuff worked out. But I guess I didn't vet the manager who I was dealing with from the company, right?
Got it.
And I say that to say it's all in the little details. And the lesson that Brandon taught me, because he was kind of mad at me too, and he's never been mad at me. He was like, man, welcome to the big leagues. And I was like, yeah, this ain't the minors anymore. You don't get mess ups, right?
Yeah.
And a reputation that I had been spending 8 years to build, Brandon's been spending 27, 28 years to build, was gone in 3 minutes, bro.
Wow.
And it's you have to be so cautious about what you put your name on, what you put your reputation on, what you bring to other people in this relationship world, because a lifetime of work could go away in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So that's why I learned that from that. So now, we've done more deals since, but not with this talent. And even now when people want this talent, I'm I need to have the money in escrow. I need to have it in my account.
In your possession.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, before I even made the introduction. So that's my most recent lesson and blessing, man. Little details for sure.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing because it's lessons in it all. And I think, more conversations we can have, even if it's just as men. Yeah. I think it's just men and women, you know what I'm saying? Ladies, I know.
Yeah.
But sometimes people don't share, they only share the wins. And they don't share really where the lessons come from is either, because most lessons either come from your loss or somebody else's loss.
Yeah, that you've been around.
Yeah, and so, I always tell people you got to respect wisdom because somebody else paid the price for that pain. And so you don't got to pay it. So you got to appreciate the wisdom because it can save you a world of heartache and pain.
And that's why mentorship is so important, man.
Yeah.
Man, everyone's like, what's the number one key to success? I tell them, find a mentor, bro. I don't care if they're not anywhere in the field that you want to be in. My goal was always to learn. If I can learn one thing from you, one thing from you, one thing from you, I'll be 1% better. There's 1% better than you. And if I do that and give that information to someone else, he's going to be 1% better than me. It's really a real each one teach one situation.
Yeah, that's
right?
fact.
So,
I love it, bro.
Sure.
Well, I appreciate you coming here and sharing the game with the people.
I appreciate you having me, man. This is nice.
Thank you,
I don't know who else been here yet, but it is nice. Teleprompters, 5 cameras.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man. We put a lot of energy into it. Anytime somebody come on the show, man, I wanna bless them with something. Philly, I don't know if you got the.
I've been waiting on my swag, guys. You know what I'm saying? But I'm probably bigger from the last time I told them my size because I've been working out.
Oh, okay. What size are you now?
What size I tell you it was?
I thought you said medium.
Well, I'm probably a large now the way I'm working out.
Well, I think there's a medium, but I'm gonna get you a large. Don't worry about
cool.
it. But I got you. One, obviously, y'all know we got the new HCO's brand, but I know you're in the leadership role, and I love John Maxwell. I don't know. Hopefully, you don't got that book, but
no, that's my guy, man. We did some good business with him.
So that was the leader's greatest return, and that was it's like the newest definition of
Hey, if it ain't millions and billions, I don't want it.
Facts.
I don't want it. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Much love, man, and congratulations to you and Brady on marriage that's coming up, man. It's gonna be big.
Oh yeah, I'm up for it.
And huge, and just excited for everything you're doing, bro.
Man, thank you, bro. I mean, listen, when you asked me to do this, I don't know how long it took me to say yes, but I know it wasn't long. But honestly, man, like I just love what you got going on and what you're doing for the people. Because at the end of the day, mentorship is important. And I don't care how they got to get their mentor. If it's digital, if it's physical, if you could pay $1,000 not to lose 10,000, would you do it? If you could pay $1,000 to make $1 million, would you do it? So you just gotta invest in yourself, man, because that's really the most important investment you can make. Yeah,
I love it. Well, I appreciate you coming, bro, and the impact you're making, the business that you're shaking up. You know what I'm saying? It's great to see.
Put me on Front Street. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I love it, man. Well, listen, y'all know what we do. We give you top plays from top entrepreneurs and influencers in the space. Y'all just gotta play from Thabiti. Go run it. We'll see y'all. What's going on? Listen, make sure you guys go to runtheplaystore.com. Get your official Run the Play gear. We talk about shirts, socks, jackets for everybody that's Run the Play all across the world.
Are you ready? We're gonna run the play. Let's go. Do you know what it's like to come from nothing at all? But every day you just wanting it all. Do you know what it's like? Every day facing your fear, but believing that